Hello everyone. In this short video, I will use the Maya to explain the bend modifier in Blender, which I feel like a lot of YouTubers explain this mode in the Blender itself makes things a little bit hard to understand what's going on behind the scene. So here, I use a simple subdivide cube to demonstrate what bend modifier being capable of doing. So here you can see in the XYZ axis, we can bend the entire cube as we want. So this would be a normal a normal result as you use the bend modifier. But as you can see, we create another cube, which is more like a very long one. And if I apply the bend modifier on this, and you will see some very odd result in certain circumstance. So as you can see in the x-axis and y-axis, it's gonna be very weird, but in the z-axis it looks normal as we want. So I'd say by using Maya, it's very helpful to let you understand what's happening here. So in the Maya, there is an option in the linear deformation, so you can create a bend tool here. So this will give you a toolbar that you create how things would bend. If we look back to the Blender document, it says the bend mode depends on the two axes, which is deform axis and desired bending axis, which is like it reference two axes to bend the geometry. So as you can see in Maya, the y-axis is point up, which is the z-axis in Blender. So if you hold a T and bend the geometry, as you can see, the geometry cannot be bent in this circumstance as there has no value in the y-axis. So this flat plane couldn't be bent as we wanted. But if you somehow, like for example, rotate the entire toolbar or the controller, I would say, rotate 90 degrees, you may have the result as you wish. So that's what's happening and what didn't show up in the Blender. So what Blender doesn't show is the axis, which is the desired axis as you used. So let me further do a little demonstration about these things. So if we add some edge loop on the z-axis and still bend in the y-axis, so put the angle very minimum, like 5 degrees, and in the orthographic view, we can see it actually bent the geometry as we have the subdivision on that axis. It's very like subtle curve on the both sides, but it bends. So to fix the problem, you need to create an empty axis as a reference where we start bending this geometry. And it's like a handle that we created in the Maya. So here, pick the empty axis and rotate it. It will control the bend direction, just like we wished. So if we rotate these things, we can see it performs correctly. Yeah, that's the result most of us wanted. So here has another advanced setting, which is restrictions. I figured out this tool is not very useful in terms of setting because it's very hard to control where the bend starts. So I would say I barely use that. But if you want to control like just part of the geometry and bend, you need to create a vertex group, which is just very simple. Just select some vertices and add to the group. Here I do a wrong demonstration. So as you can see, I didn't pick it up the vertices, so it won't give the result as we wished. So I just step back and see what's going wrong. So here I go to the vertex group and select. I figure out nothing has been selected, so I just reassign it to this group. So here you can see the geometry has been partially bended as we wished. But this function is very easy to achieve in Maya. So in Maya, if you hold a T, and it has a ledger, so if you move the ledger to the right and to the left, as you can see, you can control the bend deformation.